Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. Also, in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Aquarius as well as Leo on Fridays. I'm gonna go ahead and put these cards back. Usually I don't take cards that come in bigger groups. Usually I really only take cards that jump out in groups of one, but things change depending on the energy. Also, the deck that I'm using today is called The Influences of the Angels Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description below. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I usually don't take them unless they flip out like these ones have. And the goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. Alright, so now that we have all your cards, I'm just going to take this time to remind you guys that if you enjoyed the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. I really like to see if these readings resonate with you guys. But your overall energy here is the Page of Swords. Now the Page of Swords is oftentimes a message. And I feel as if you guys have some kind of a message incoming, or some kind of a offer. I am sensing love since we have the Lovers card here, and the symbolism of the Lovers tends to be very straightforward, but I feel like with this Page of Swords, oftentimes we see somebody who is a little bit lower on the emotional maturity scale, right? Because the pages have the tendency to be a little bit inexperienced and a little bit immature when it comes to their own suit, but they haven't really even begun to sort of wonder of the world beyond their suit, right? So what I mean by this is a person who is a Page of Swords will be very concerned with the emotion or with the mental aspects of the world, things that are logical, things that are very businesslike, but somebody who is a King of Swords, for example, will understand that some things in life are logical, but some things in life have to do more with emotions, such as like the King of Cups. And the kings will often know when to defer to other people, right? But that's the difference between sort of the king and the pages, is that this person or this message or whatever this is a little bit on the immature side, emotionally in particular. But they want to come forth with a message that rings true of some logic. And I feel like it's kind of a little bit over, it's been kind of a long time coming, I feel, because we have the Ace of Swords. So the fact that we have the Ace of Swords appearing here almost leads me to believe that there's been a lot of confusion and sort of hectic energy I'm getting in the past, right? So I'm also getting family for a lot of you guys, so family might be playing a big role. But with this Ace of Swords, we're going to see some clarity. You guys are going to see some kind of a message that comes in here with the Page of Swords, with this Ace of Swords energy into this Eight of Cups energy, right? So the Ace of Swords will bring with it the clarity that you've been desiring, and the Eight of Cups here is a card about walking away. So that's a very interesting energy for a lot of you guys, because the fact that it's in reverse almost leads me to believe that this person doesn't want to walk away. I feel like you guys are in lots of situations in where there's been sort of this, I have to do this because it's the most logical thing to do kind of a stance, when in reality, emotionally, they don't want to walk away. But I feel like you guys are put in a situation where there's a lot of walking away or a lot of threats of walking away, even though there's this emotional want not to. And more so moving into the Two of Pentacles here, I feel like there's that duality of like, do I walk away? Do I not walk away? Do I follow what's logical? Do I follow what's emotional? Right? And I feel like this person's a little bit torn and they're making this head over heart decision. And that's why we see sort of this Two of Pentacles, because as you can see in the symbolism of the Two of Pentacles, this woman is juggling these two pentacles, right? So she's trying to balance these two ideas. And even though, you know, the Two of Pentacles isn't so much a card about indecision or stalemates, that's more of the Two of Swords. I'm getting a little bit of that energy now, right? But I feel like more so than that, the Two of Pentacles talks about a balance, talks about some kind of sort of juggling. So there's like these competing ideas that haven't been able to reconcile. And also, just as I was talking there, like the word reconcile almost like didn't quite come out. So I'm guessing that there's like this energy of like, there might be a lot of pride here involved. Somebody might not want to admit, somebody or everyone involved, honestly, might not want to admit that they were wrong. But I feel like whatever it is, there's definitely an air of finality here with this World card. I feel like there's going to be some kind of a ultimatum that gets thrown in here. And that's not a word that I've really thought about in a long time. And I feel like it's not exactly a word that you guys have thought about in a long time, but it's sort of, or maybe you have because you're sort of really used to this person being very all or nothing. Also, I'm looking at the clock in the real world right now, and it's 11:44, so you guys might be seeing some kind of synchronicities. I know it's someone out there has a very special meaning with 11:44, but I feel like with this combination here, it speaks very heavy of love, right? And I understand that not everyone that's going to watch this video is necessarily involved in a love connection, but I am getting very heavy that for a lot of you, it might have to do with family as well, right? Or even work for a lot of you, because the Lover's card to me is very symbolic of whatever you want it to mean in this particular situation, right? So if you're dealing with a situation that's very love-heavy, substitute in love. If you're dealing with something that's very work-heavy or family-heavy, you know, substitute those themes in. But with the Lover's card, you're going to see some kind of a victory, right? Because a lesser talked about aspect of the Lovers is the surmounting of obstacles, right? So these two lovers are together, but they weren't always together. At some point, they were on different sides of perhaps even like this setting, this field, and they had to walk to get to each other. And I feel like that act of, I guess you could say, sacrifice, even if it's a small scale sacrifice, like walking to the other person, is sort of an obstacle within itself, and it's a challenge that you guys have overcome, right? So it's very symbolic of overcoming an obstacle, no matter how small. And as you can see, they're offering each other some kind of a fruit, it almost looks like, but at first glance, it looked like a heart to me. So whatever it is here, you sort of have achieved something, but there's this energy here of lack, because the Four of Cups talks about wanting more than you already have, right? It talks about dissatisfaction a lot of times. And you can see that this woman has like these 3 cups down here, and she's being offered this 4th cup, but she's still not really into the idea. So there's a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of wanting more than you can get out of this situation. And perhaps for a lot of you guys, this situation or setup might be less than ideal for you, might not meet all your needs, and might not be exactly what you're looking for, and there could be better elsewhere. I'm getting almost like this feeling of like the grass is greener. So that's definitely a decision that some of you guys are going to have to make. But I am seeing this here. I'm seeing the Seven of Wands and the Five of Swords, right? And the Five of Swords to me talks about petty arguments, whereas the Seven of Wands talks more about something being worth fighting for. So it almost feels like, you know, when everything is said and done, when all the arguing is over, you guys are still in this mindset of like, hey, this situation is worth fighting for. I want to have a positive outcome in this situation, right? And I feel like a lot of you guys are willing to take the steps to make that happen. Like I was saying here with this Page of Swords, there might be a lot of lack of communication. There might be a lot of blocking, a lot of arguing, especially here with this Five of Swords. And I feel like that puts you in a situation where you're kind of sick of it, to be honest, because like the Four of Cups again, like dissatisfaction. But I feel like at the end of the day, even though this isn't like the Six of Wands, it feels very Six of Wands energy to me. There's a lot of victory that you're going to see, a lot of love here, and a lot of happy endings. And especially with this World card here, you guys are going to see some kind of a final outcome that is hopefully in your favor. Do know that if something doesn't quite work out for you, there's always alternatives and there's always other steps that you can take. And I feel like it just opens the door for something else that could be even potentially better for you guys. But Aquarius, that was your reading for this time around. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Aquarius videos on Fridays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.